a pretty good chance you're singing one of your originals, and I'm just curious, what would that kind of sound like? You have any idea what, a lyric or two, or something we could tap our toe to so that we can go to Spotify? What would that kind of sound like? Any one of your songs?
Do you have any songs about the narcs?
Oh God, yeah.
Pick
one.
Really?
Give us some of that.
What would they sound? What would a narcanator song sound like?
A narcanator. Probably Middle Finger Machine Gun.
That's the name of a song?
Yep.
That was legit.
I like the way you knew that song right off the top of your head, but this one down here, we didn't remember that.
That's probably the song we actually are playing. That is probably it. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
What are a couple lines from Middle Finger Machine Gun?
I don't know, guys.
No.
Look at you. Wait, can she turn it red yet? Can she turn it red yet? Okay. Are you speechless? Are you speechless all of a sudden? You don't remember the song that you sang?
I have to think about it. Like, I really have to think about the words. Like, that's how long it's been since we played these songs.
Whatever. Hey, so I got okay, follow-up question from Susie's. Okay, so who did you write the song about?
Okay, I think my brother wrote that one. But
really?
is so fitting of all the crap that I've been through in life. So, and at the time I was still in the middle of crud. So, I mean, that song even has even more of a meaning now. At the time I was still in the midst of a lot of it, a lot of the darkest of it, actually. So, yeah, I mean, I would say, gosh, what song is really about the narcs? I'm looking up on Spotify right now.
You're gonna look up your own song.
I don't know, because there's been so many songs. Like, I kind of feel like, and in some regard, through the years, you write about stuff, and it's like, I have to kind of go back and be like, oh my God, what was going on during that time, and who was I writing about? And I think the cool thing about songs too is they can take up different meanings. Like, in another period of your life, it can mean something else to you, or mean something to somebody else that, I mean, how many people have gotten lyrics wrong or songs wrong? Like The Police, Every Breath I Take.
Yeah.
People thought that was a love song all those years. It's about a stalker, Yep.
Absolutely.
Like, I never want to tell people what to think of when they listen to songs. I want them to kind of gain their own, like, oh, this song kind of helps me,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when people look at you in your life, what do you want people to think about you? Now, we're not talking validation. What would they take away from looking at you in your life? You already heard her say some things we think about you.
Well, I would say, if I could say anything, it's I have wisdom now I never had. I mean, even 5 years ago, I didn't have the kind of wisdom I have and knowledge on how people are and how they can be, and also how you can achieve anything you want. I really didn't know this so much that I believe that or understood how that works, and how it's so important to surround yourself with really, to find your tribe in life. I didn't have my tribe even 5 years ago. I still was surrounded by some pretty dark people that were just not people that you should be hanging around with or even just conversing with. These are people I met through work, and people that I thought were friends, or family members I thought really had my back, and looking back, no, they didn't. You hear these stories about how they talk about you when you're not around, and I was very accommodating, or just like, I would forgive people very easily and blow things off and be like, well, that's too bad. But now I really pick and choose who is coming in my life and who's staying. And the minute I see some nonsense, here's my thing. I'm going to also tell people that I think defines me as a person. And I try to teach people this when I coach. You got to look at things like this now. I never saw the world like this, but now I do. Because I used to see the world with rose-colored glasses, and it got me in a lot of trouble. And now I see it like, if you pull a stunt with me, and I have to ask myself, well, gee, that's quite the stunt. And I have to say to myself, would I ever do that to you? If the answer is no, we're done here. we're not on the same playing field. Like, you're not my tribe. You're not my people. And
you gotta get one of
It's
these
really
for
good.
that.
yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
get one of these for that. That
That's
was
great.
perfect.
I
I'm
could
sorry. Go ahead,
totally
my friend.
relate to that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
I think we're all going around in life trying to find our tribe. We're trying to find our people. And I think for some of us, it takes a long, long time. If we can find one person that's part of our tribe, we're pretty blessed. You know? But
You
And
got
there's
some
some-
love on the screen from Dr.
Dr.
Marnie Hill Fadarero.
Dr. Marnie is absolutely right. It is around enforcing healthy boundaries. And I got to tell you, I thought I had them even 5 years ago when I started the channel. I didn't. I think if you don't stand for things, and it's like, I think also people are trying to relearn who they are all over again after you've gone through a lot of abuse. You have to sit and be like, who am I? And what are my boundaries? And I think they change as we evolve as humans. I think that they change for us. And it's good to have those important conversations with ourselves every now and again. What are my boundaries? What are my lines in the sand? What do I stand for? Yeah.
It's kind of, how do you want to spend your time and energy too, is something I definitely learned a lot about coming out of my divorce and adapting to a new lifestyle, and just really figuring out what, like you said, what do you want? What do you want in life? But
Exactly. And when we're in the midst of abuse and surrounded by a bunch of narcs, which my life literally was surrounded by these people. Like, I let everybody in my life at one point. I was such a, oh, come on in, you're at the door, come on in, and I was just like that. And I just wanted to get along with everybody. I don't care about your spiritual beliefs or none, or if you, what background you come from. I just wanted to get along with everybody. That was my thing. And I think I still have some of that, and that's okay. But yeah, like, reopening conversations about who am I? Who am I as a person? And okay, I remember listening to this interview one time. This was pretty profound. It was Grant Cardone. He's one of, like, the top real estate. He owns, like, ginormous amounts of real estate all throughout the world, and he's pretty smart, kind of narcissistic, but he knows that he's very smart with what he does. But his wife got on a podcast one time. This is years ago, and she said, I don't even hang around with friends that do things that I don't approve of. And I mean it. She says, I don't hang around with those people. She said, I had a friend tell me that she was fooling around on her husband. And this was a friend of hers that she had for years, and thought that she could confide in me to tell me these things. And she said, I said to myself, if you're doing that, why you're going to do that to me? And this is your character. And I don't hang around with people like this. And I thought that was really great advice. Like, it's true. It's really true.
It is.
Yeah, as you get older, you see these things. When we were younger, we were just like, oh, she's just going through something. I got to be there for her.
It's
very
like,
true.
I'm learning, what am I willing to tolerate anymore? And after I got rid of my main narcissist, there's, like you said, there's so many others behind him, and so many flying monkeys, and so many people that listened to him and believed him. And what do? You really literally have to cut them all out, because they're still part of it. They're still dragging you down. They're still not on your team. And it hurts. It hurts to have to let all these people go.
Yeah. But you have to figure out who's
But you
safe.
have to protect
safe
yourself.
for you.
Yeah. Like, I'm finally learning. I am the only one that is able to protect me. And it's a wake-up call for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this much. All of you are saying some very encouraging things that even in the chat they're recognizing, that they are appreciating. I am going to do something here, and this is really, well, I want you, Tracy, to share from your heart. I'm looking at this first paragraph here. Can everybody see this here in a minute here? This paragraph here and this paragraph here, the first two paragraphs in your About Me section, one of them highlights having your grandparents live directly across the street. The impact that they had on you, do you still feel it today?
Oh, absolutely. So quick backstory is that this house I'm in now was my grandparents' house. So when I grew up across the street from them, which was amazing to have my Meme and Pepe be right next door to me all my life. Well, my Pepe passed away when I was 14, 15 years old, and my Meme passed away in 2017. She survived him another 20 years, 20
Wow.
something years. Died she passed away at 94. And my Pepe was World War II sergeant veteran, and as tough as nails, as tough as it gets. And although their relationship was actually really funny to sit around, the French Canadian loved to just scream at each other. That was like, they're like, but that's just what they did. They just were yellers, and that's how they show their love. But they're just funny people. And they taught me a lot. And so the night actually that I left my ex-husband, I had no idea where I was going. And my sister-in-law, God bless her, my brother's wife, we've been best of friends since I met her when I was 18. She started dating my brother. She's one of my best friends of all time. And she came to help me pack up my things. We were trying to get out of there as quickly as possible. And because I had finally made up my mind, this was it. I was done. There was going to be no more turns of this. She came down to help me pack up all my stuff. And I looked at her and I said, I have no idea where I'm going to go. I think I'm just going to go to a hotel. And she was like, no, you're going to come stay with your brother and I. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not going to disrupt your house with your kid. They have two beautiful kids. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, my Meme's been in the nursing home now for 2 years, almost 2 years at that point. This house was empty. I have the key. Let me just head there. And so I came here, and my Meme literally passed away within 3 days after I came here. And I always feel like she brought me here in some weird way. Because they do say like your soul might pass almost before your body does.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do feel that. And I feel a lot of times I feel their presence in here. I can still smell them sometimes around the house. And just when I need to get some kind of a sign about my life, I get it. I get it from them. I really do.
That's
This house has a lot of meaning. What's that?
You probably feel safe there. I'm saying you probably feel safe there.
Oh my, you just nailed it, Susie. It's a peace that I've never felt before in my life. And I know they're happy I'm here. I know that, who else would they want in this house, Yeah, I used to get in these big fights with my mom when I was a kid. Like my mom and I, when we would go at it, it was bad. And I'd come over here and be like, why does she do these things? Why? And my Meme would be like, well, when she gets like that, you just, that's my Meme and Pepe's daughter. Like when she gets like that, you just ignore her and come see your Meme, and I just like go over there and like, I'm like, I'm going to run away. She's like, no, you just come stay with me if you need to.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Now, does your brother live near you?
My brother actually used to live only about 5 minutes down the road. That was their first house. And they bought a beautiful property out in Sterling, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Which is like, it's really nice, even more rural, and nice room for his wife is a vet tech, and they rescue animals. So they've always had like 3 dogs, 7 cats. Like they rescue the animals that people bring into her vets. That say I can't afford to get the animal fixed, and they pay for them and take them home. So they've done that as long as they've been together, like 25, 27 years, something like that. Wow. Yeah.
How many cats do you have again?
I've got 3 cats, and I rescued 2 of them. Yeah, they're feral and they're crazy. You see them in my videos running up and down the stairs. They're absolutely nuts. But
are your cats kind of like you?
Yes.
Or are you kind of like the cats?
Well, it's getting questionable at this point, because I'm living more of a cat lifestyle as I've gotten older, sitting in the house. They're indoor cats. So, we sit in the house and we entertain one another, and we don't want to go out there, so.
Okay.
So that's what it's become.
Since you don't want to entertain, and we're not going to keep you all night, and we're not going to keep Julie up all night either. Julie, are you still okay over there?
Stel hier, Sterrenweek. Is er Sterrenweek?
Okay, because the show, when we put these shows on, everybody normally yawns because I put them all to sleep. So it's okay if you start yawning. You can do it right on the screen. You don't have to cover it up. They all know what you're doing. I'm going to read something, and I want you to tell me well, Tracy, just listen to this. You wrote this. This is for you. Tracy attended Catholic school from the age of 5 up until she graduated high school. She also began, here we go, dancing tap, jazz, ballet, and eventually hip hop. Which one do you like or enjoy the most?
What do you think, Paxton?
Dance? Nope, don't. I'm not going there. No, don't mess with me.
Does anyone want to take a
let
guess?
me tell you. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. We're not on
Hip-hop?
your channel. We're not on your channel where you can interview me. Oh, no, this is a tribute to you.
See, this
So
is hard for me, Paxton.
Dancing, tap, jazz, ballet, and hip hop.
Okay, well, I wasn't very flexible, so we all know that it was not ballet.
Information we didn't plan to get tonight.
No, I was not. I always had a problem with that. So hip hop and tap came natural.
Oh,
Okay.
Kevin got it right.
Yeah,
Kevin got it right in the chat.
Oh,
I was going to
love
say hip hop too.
it. Was my absolute favorite. Still is.
Really?
Yeah. Oh
so
yeah.
are you a person who enjoys dancing, or you
Yes.
don't like dancing?
I love dancing. That was my first love. Dance was my first love before I knew I could even sing. I didn't know I could sing until I was 14, and my brother came home and was like, "Try to go downstairs and belt that Alanis Morissette song to see if you can sing," because they wanted a female in their band.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah.
"Sean, I can't sing." He said, "Just go try." And that's how it all
There you
started.
go.
But
Wow.
yeah.
Well, then that's why I segue to, at the young age of 14, here in your bio on your website, Tracy was asked to join her older brother's rock band as their lead singer, playing weekly shows throughout New England. Interesting. Did you get paid well, or did you do it
Yes.
all for free?
No, we were like the top cover band around here. People just loved it because we were young in a band with all these 20-something-year-olds and like killing, people like to see that. And my brother was one of the best guitarists anybody around here had ever seen. He started playing guitar in sixth grade. So by the time he was my age, at 14, when I joined, he was 17, but he started playing in this cover band. And when he was 14, he went to try out, and the 25-year-old guys were like, "This is funny. Look at this kid trying out for this band." And then he started to play for him, and they were like, "Oh my God, like we
Wow.
have to have him in our
Wow.
band." Yeah. So my parents would have
cool.
to come to every show. I led a very strange life. We would be playing shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. My parents would have to come to everyone because obviously we were underage. And then I'd have to go to, get up and go to exams at Friday morning. I'd try to be alive and awake. But it was really cool. It was really cool.
Did your
Well-
parents or your I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Did your parents or your grandparents play any instruments or sing or dance or?
So no, my Pepe was a boxer.
Okay.
And I need to get into that because that's my next endeavor. But yeah, and my mom and dad just were music fans. They had MTV on every single day in the house, listening to 80s music as I grew up. So, and that was, but my dad did play a little bit of guitar in high school and was in a band for a hot minute in high school. So he gave his guitar, he took it up, he got it from the attic when my brother was in 6th grade and brought it down and taught him how to play Wipeout.
That's funny.
And then that was it. My brother never put it down. All I
Wow.
heard
That's
growing
great.
up was my brother playing Def Leppard over and over and over in this room. And
You got
So,
a
Tracy,
question
if-
from Kevin. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Warren. I'm just gonna put
No,
a question
sorry.
up from Kevin. But go ahead,
Yeah,
Warren.
Tracy, I was just going to ask if back then they had The Voice or America's Got Talent, would you consider doing that?
so I'm going to tell you something funny. Oh yeah, we definitely would have done that back then. But they didn't have things like that. They didn't
They
have
didn't?
the School of Rock where we could have went to that school. I think it's so important if people are listening to this. If you recognize your kid, your child has some type of talent or is interested in singing at least or playing an instrument, try to get them to an instructor because that's going to bring out that confidence to keep doing it and learn. Kevin was, yeah. And I mean, we definitely would have done that. There is a video on YouTube. It was our, Whitney Houston sort of tribute after she passed. We did this little rock tribute to her, and we sent it to America's Got Talent, and it got through to the second round. And
Ooh.
but I got to
Cool.
tell you, those shows are really, they're not
Pretty
what
cool.
you think it is. Like the people that judge, like Howard Stern and all that, they're not sitting there. It's like these random people in a room. Like you don't get to play as your first time in front of them. You have to play for all these other people beforehand, and you keep getting up the rounds to get
Yep.
on the show. So it's kind of not what people think it is. And we waited in line for so long. We're like, we're never doing that again. That was lame.
Okay, so now I'm going to turn our attention to another part here. I just got a couple of more parts, and then we promise you will be going soon, so you can go help your
Okay.
client, and Julie can get some sleep, and
Yeah.
everybody else can do it. Hey, so question: when it came to the name vulgarity, what did your parents say?
My mom hated it. My mom's like, that is awful. And we were like, it is so awesome. It's so funny.
So good.
It's just so perfect. Like, well, I think it all started. My brother's best friend in grammar school used to call my brother, I think she used to call him Sean Vulgarity. Because he was always walking around swearing or something. And and she didn't want him swearing in front of her kid. I don't know what it was. We were, it was the 80s. This is what you did.
Just
You,
in case anybody is watching this and never knew this about Tracy, you're going to want to watch this over and over, because you're learning more than anybody thought of tonight or any other time. This is all from her website. A few more things here, and then I've got something I'm going to put up, and I'm going to need everybody to pitch in to answer a question from one of our subscribers. But here we go. Just the last bit here, Tracy and everybody. It says here, Tracy's positive demeanor, bubbly personality, and silly sense of human. What is that? Is that human? No,
Humor.
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 Oh, are you a funny woman? Are you funny? Hey, you just a funny girl? Funny girl, aren't you?
You funny.
You
You
really
silly.
I
funny
can tell
girl.
she's funny.
Okay, so since you're such a funny person, explain this to me, this other part that says here. And this, I know, well, here we go. Unfortunately, this also taught her a lesson about another type of human that exists among us. She now is on a conquest to try and teach and help others in learning the meaning of the word toxic, the word narcissist, and the word evil. Toxic, narcissist, evil. If I could save one person, these are your words, from going through this insidious type of underlying abuse that is not spoken of, then it is all worth it in the end.
Agreed.
Tell us a little bit more about that before we get into something and then end the show.
Yeah, I think in any industry you're going to find them, and I just think that they're everywhere. And I think psychologists, I want to say this much, psychologists have the stats wrong, because that would mean that these narcissists would have to go in to get assessed, take the test, be honest about it, and that's how they're getting their stats. There are more of these people walking among us, more so than anybody realizes or can imagine. And it's just time that everybody wakes up and can see that there should be a part of our lives, whereas before, where there's not all these diagnoses and labels we slap on people, that we should be able to look at a person and say, that's a bad person right there. And that person over here, that's a good person, and we're basing it off a character, right? And so I think people need to start thinking a lot more about that, and the fact that these people are literally everywhere. You're going to encounter them, unfortunately, for the rest of your life. So you have to be equipped to learn how to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Any thoughts, anybody, before we go to this last bit, and before we go, anybody on what Tracy just mentioned?
I just couldn't agree more. It's
I think it was very well said.
Julie,
Yeah.
you were going to say something there. Julie, go ahead.
It's all right. Totally agree with everything, Tracy. It's the same over here. The more you look, the more you see. Just for anybody listening, how would you deal with a narcissist when you come across them?
You know, I think when you come across somebody that you're not sure of, and you've done a lot of work on yourself to know that you've got better discernment than you did even say like a year ago. If you come across somebody that you're just not sure of, you need to pay attention to that. And because that's your instinct. And people that have good intentions, I'll tell you what, we have good instincts too, but we just don't follow them sometimes. So we have to turn that be able to have that ability to turn that button back on again and trust ourselves that I don't really know about this person. Every single person in the end that has proven to me that they're really not that great, you know, of character and integrity. I saw all the signs. I did, but I just didn't want to see them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. It's
Susie, Susie, if we could, I just want to do something because I interrupted. But Susie Z, you were going to say something, and Tracy, I think this is your first time meeting each other, right, Trace?
Yes.
And Susie Z.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know if you got a chance to see her show, but Tracy, if you ever get a chance, please. I know you can have anybody you want on your show, but please keep Susie Z in mind to have on your show.
Yes.
Susie, say what you're going to say, but her story is amazing, Trace. I just wanted to say that, but go ahead.
Yeah, I got sidetracked, but I don't. I'm still going through it. Like I'm going through the divorce now from the narcissist, and he was extremely abusive. Got worse as he got older, as time went on. 25 years of marriage, and now I'm dealing. His girlfriend is a narcissist, so it's like I'm being tag teamed, stalked. It's so scary. My question to you would be like, what advice would you give someone when they are out, right? Because I'm like healing in real time right now on my own. Finally got a studio apartment, in therapy, women's groups, you name it. I'm doing it, totally working on myself, but it's still there. You know, he's still there. He just like got a new vehicle, so no one would recognize him when he comes around, tinted the windows out. And it's like, I'm always looking over my shoulder. Like, I feel like I'm never going to be free. Like, you can get divorced, you can move away, but they're always lurking. They don't let go.
Yes. So here's what I got to tell you about that, because I went through that. I went through that with some of my exes. They're going to be who they are, regardless of what you do or don't do, if that makes any sense.
Yes,
the biggest place you got to get to is like, you know, making sure you have all the measures that you're protecting yourself. And I always tell single women that live, I don't care if you live with somebody or you live by yourself, you need to be equipped to taking care of business, knowing how to defend yourself. You know, I'm not a big gun person, but I do believe you need to protect yourself. And I think women should get should learn how to protect themselves. A big dog, things of this nature. But having said that, you know, there's a lot of other ways you can learn how to protect yourself, and there's a lot of free classes people could give you. But you know, in terms of like what he's doing and not doing, you just literally want to say some prayers that like let him go find somebody else to.
He did, because she's just as bad as him. That's the problem. Now I have two of them. Where I live, like nobody knows where I live. My children have not even been here.
Wow. See, and they found out, and they know where you live, and they're doing the gang stalking stuff, like driving by.
They don't know where I live. Someone just spotted him in a new car, tinted out windows, something he would never buy. And we thought he was out of town. I mean, even the woman at CVS, the gas station, everyone is on the lookout for this man. Wow. Until he does something, they can't do anything. Yeah. I feel like I'm in the witness protection program. I used to know the car so I could look through the parking lots before I went in a store. Now he switched it up, and it's just, it just doesn't go away.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's a fight. It's a fight until they actually go find somebody else to obsess over, or until like you like literally learn how to disappear. And I know people get really really ticked off about that because they're like, why should I have to go and change my name and do all these things and hide? But sometimes I got to tell you something. It's a matter of life or death, and with
I
your
know.
sanity and with the fact that you just don't know what you don't know how. I always say this: a narcissist is capable of murder. Every single one of them. It just depends which one of them want to go that far. That's all it is. It's
Mhm.
No, they picked me up. My godmother's picked me up at night and in mornings, like taken off motels. I disappear a lot, and I don't tell anyone.
Yeah, that's what
You
you
know,
have to
like,
do.
I have to. I got to get away for a few days because I get traumatized. Like it.
Yes,
I'm sure you do. Yeah.
you got to take care of yourself, and I mean, this is why I'm working on some things for people, and making it so that we have funding set aside for people to be able to get out of their immediate environment, where it's going on, where it's happening, because that's the main reason a lot of people don't leave where it went on, is because of money. Who's got money right now in this economy to go travel, to go move to across the? So we need more resources for people to feel safe and comfortable. And when they know you're out of the immediate environment, it kind of stops them from wanting to keep tabs on you anyways, because they don't want to get on a plane and and keep it up.
Right. It's my family. I have children here, my grandchildren, and they know that. He knows I'm not gonna. It's like, do we all move? Do we all change our name? That's how serious this is getting.
I'm going to tell you something else. We should talk. Well, we will. There's things that I tell my clients that I do not specifically, I do not share on the internet, because the narcissists are watching our channel, you guys, and they don't, we can't tell them our plans of what we're doing to make sure this stops and we combat their behaviors, because they know enough. There's too many coaches like kind of giving away this stuff, and we have to keep our plans to ourselves. I tell people that all the time, like, there's so much more I could say to you right now that you need to go do, but I'm not gonna say it because they're watching. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's why, guys, if you're watching any of this today and you see the coaches on here you want to work with, work with them, because they got ideas and they've been through it, and they can tell you what to do, what not to do, because they've already been through it. Yeah.
Tracy, can you keep us posted on that project you're working on for funding? Because we could all promote it and try to help with fundraising too. That sounds amazing, and I know it is really needed. So
yes, when it all is up and running, and I've got people helping me right now, absolutely, because there's so much more we can be doing together as a community to help, and keeping that valuable information away from narcs and keeping it to the people that really need help right now.
We have a women's shelter and a women's group here in town, and when he broke my bones and I ended up in the hospital, the police got me in connection with the women's center. Thank God for them, because I was sleeping in my car, Walmart parking lots. I was too embarrassed to tell my kids, and they got me through the worst of it. And like, the hotlines are phenomenal. There is a lot of help, but I never knew, it took 25 years and being in the woods for 17 hours, left for dead. And he hit my car for me to finally get help.
God.
It was bad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good experience with the shelter.
I survived.
There's some agencies that are better than others, and there's some shelters that are better than others. I'm glad you had a good one. Thank God.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a great
phenomenal.
experience. Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know. And if one doesn't work, I mean, please look for another one, another town, another state, whatever you need to do. There's other organizations for sure. Don't give up. Even therapists.
There's so much more that I want to delve into, and you're going down that road, all of you right now, but I know I can't keep you forever. Do we have you for at least 15 minutes? I just need to check before.
Yes. Yes. 9:00. So
that don't help me none. What are you telling me?
Oh, you're California.
Why are you trying to make me do math? I came from the ghetto.
Yeah. So 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock is when I gotta
listen
go.
to hip hop. I can't count. You should know I can't count.
I can't either.
Even though I was an accountant at one time, that don't mean anything. But I was gonna say what I wanted to touch on. Actually, the reason why I mentioned to you, Tracy, about having Susie Z on. I know you're going to have the other Susie on as well. Have Susie Z on as well, because there's so much to her story and many different parts to it, and the positive work that she's able to do by encouraging so many young women and women from the shelter. But you were doing social services, or what was it again? You did.
Yeah.
Correct me.
So I worked for, I'm saying 14 years because I continued those services when I became a senior manager for another company. And so I helped match people that had barriers to employment with suitable jobs in the area. So I had to do a lot of work with companies, meeting different managers, HR folk, and business owners all around this entire area, because we, at the time, that company expanded to Connecticut, Massachusetts, where I helped them open those markets. And it was just Rhode Island at the time when I was living in Rhode Island. So yeah, I did that for about 14 years. I implemented the last 4 years that I was in human social services. I was managing. I was the senior manager for an organization that helped people. I'm not going to say who they were, but that helped people with all things. Helped women that were coming out of shelters. Helped people in the community that needed food, that needed shelter, that needed help with their bills. That we had a behavioral health sector of the organization. It was all jack of all trades that we did there, and I worked for them for several years before I started doing this. Yeah.
So the reason I wanted you to touch on that and say it specifically better than I could, because you've experienced it, and I wanted you to meet Susie today also, as Susie works with shelters, and she's often a person that is available to help others. You guys would have an amazing show. There are many of our viewers that would, you know who you are out there. You would want to catch that show for sure on Tracy's platform. When you guys are able to talk about that. A lot of people want to know about that. It's not something we've talked about now. Plus, I don't have any expertise on anything, but it will be a great show for both of you guys to do together.
Yes.
Look at me plugging
what I would normally do. Forward to that.
Private, I'm just doing it out right now. And now, before we go, I know I've said that a few times, but we really are leaving. But I want to do this. Everybody's been forewarned, so let me go ahead and do it. I need everyone here to tell me before we go. I had a viewer send in a question, went back and forth, talked to them. They had a question that we honed down to this, and they wanted to get an answer from the Motley Crew. Just in case everybody's wondering, let me put this back up here. The Motley Crew, not all of them are here, but the Motley Crew will be back 2 weeks from now, and hopefully everybody will be here. But here we are. The question is this. What she wanted to know is, from the Motley Crew, and now, Tracy, you're here today, so you get to pitch in. What are things she can look for in a person to have a long-term relationship? She's out of an abusive marriage. She's divorced. She now wants to know, what is it she should be looking for to know she's going to be safe in a long-term relationship? Susie Miller, would you like to go first?
Yeah. I would say someone who puts their money where their mouth is. So by saying that, I mean specifically, in relationships, things come up and apologies are given. But when you're with a narcissist, it's just words, and typically their actions don't change. So be sure that when there is an apology given, you see changed behavior, because the only true apology is changed behavior.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Anybody got another one? That's one.
I would say I would look recognize how he speaks and treats his family, his friends, his relationships, how he is with money. That's a big one. How responsible he is with money, his job. There's so many things. His communication skills definitely would definitely raise a red flag. But I would definitely look at his relationships, because looking back, I can see all the things I noticed and didn't take seriously. So
Yeah, I would piggyback off that, Susie, and just say, look,
finances.
hear how he talks about his ex.
Yes.
Because if he's throwing his exes under the bus and saying horrible things about them,
you will probably be the next one.
You'll be
he
the next
talks
one.
about.
Absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
What else everybody got? Let's try to keep note and track of some of these. Susie Miller, could you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody,
Sure.
take a turn.
So for me, one of the things I would say, so that's the time delay again, isn't it? For me, one of the things I would say definitely is healthy boundaries, both of you, and respect for each other's boundaries too.
Yeah. Yes.
I think you need to find someone who is willing to have open and really honest conversations and be able to manage those conversations so that it doesn't become difficult. That's where, for me, having someone that I can completely be open and honest with and know that they will accept that and I can do the same thing, for me, that's very important.
That's awesome. Did everyone go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would just add to that, because that's such a great list. The biggest thing I could tell, and especially the young folk that do this, well, we all do this. We've all done this. And I see my clients do this at every age. You got to meet somebody exactly where they're at when you meet them. You can't be doing this like, well, their car is really beaten up and they've not had a car payment for, 25 years. And but they say they want to get a better car to like come see you, or, you have to see where you got to meet somebody exactly where they're at and understand like that's what you're dealing with. Cause a lot of times people like to do this thing where they're like, well, they have potential. That's that crazy word, potential. Like, well, there's potential there, they're really nice. They have this going, but like, how people live their life, you have to pay attention to that where they're at when you meet them.
Mm-hmm.
Are they still living off of like other people? Do they pay their own bills? Have they ever lived by themselves and like paid for themselves? These are all really big things that you have to look out for. And if they are wealthy, is not to be, but like some people, they don't understand how to take care of someone else because they've had people taking care of them for fourth generations in their family, taking care of them for forever. They don't even have a concept of how to care for someone else. So I'm just
gonna kind of go off of that and say, find someone who really lives within their means, right? Because they have this persona of, they have a really fancy car, they have really fancy clothes, and they're $200,000 in debt, but no, you don't know that, and so they give you this look of, I'm doing great, and then you peel back the layers and they're really not, and that's a huge problem.
Yes, it's that, and they're not honest about it. And I say right away, if you find out that they're not being honest about it, like if they don't tell you like right away, like, hey, I have this debt, like then you find out later on, like they don't even have like a good credit score. They haven't bought anything in years. And then you don't even understand how they can, it doesn't even make sense. Then you're like, no, there's something not adding up here. Yes.
I always thought that I could change him. I could help him. You can't change people.
No,
you can't. Yeah. People when they show, what is that saying? When they show you who they are, believe them.
Yes.
Believe them.
Yes.
Because you're not going to change them.
So true.
And the guilt trips and the, you could just go on and on and on.
Everybody is
the
on
sob
their best.
Stories. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Everybody's on their best behavior in the beginning anyway. So I look at it like this. You don't really know what you're dealing with. I hate to say it like this, but it takes about a good 2 years to really know the character of the person in front of you. And a psychopath can hide that they're a psychopath for 2 years. They can hide that.
Yep.
So
yeah. I would say one that we haven't mentioned is find somebody who encourages you to to have your own interests, your own hobbies, your own relationships that also, fill your cup. Because when you're in abusive relationships, oftentimes majority of those, if not all of those, are discouraged.
Yes.
Yep. Was for me.
Susie, I would say something that works off the back of what you were saying there too, is both of you be, kind of healthy, independent people. You can still come together and spend that quality time, but you don't want somebody kind of, codependent. And it's that spectrum of clingy all the way through to controlling. It's not cute when they're clingy and they want to spend all the time with you, and they abandon everybody else. And it's not sweet because they must really like you because they want to check your phone and, all of these control. These are all huge red flags. Two independent people. And one of the things I also just used to say to couples when I used to do couples therapy was, relationships are not 50-50. People say they're 50-50. It's 100% for both parts. Both people need to give it 100%. Just my opinion.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Very true.
And there may be times somebody can only give 80% of we did.
Did we get amen?
And
we did get an amen.
Just to kind of add to that, there may be times
can we get another one? Can we get another one for Julie? Because just another amen for Julie.
Julie's
amen.
We keep losing Julie because she's delayed a little bit, but
yeah. She's staying up like in the wee hours of the morning. Amen for the sister contributing.
So
you got amen on the screen too, but amen on the screen too.
I just want to add into the 50-50, 100-100 thing. There may be times that somebody can only give 70% because they're busy at work or family or, things going on. And that's all right. There may be times you pick up that extra bit, but don't make sure it's balanced and it's not you picking up the extra slack all the time.
Yes. Yes.
I love this.
So many good
really
pieces.
I feel like I should stay over now or something.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like morning for you. And I just have to say, let me put this. You're doing great. You're doing fantastic for spur of the moment per se, and jumping in and being a part of this, because this is, I really wanted Tracy to know that we love her. And I wanted her to know that her work is not in vain. But I wanted you to also meet everybody and everybody else all getting together. It's been a rough week for all of us because Susie Z, which you've gone through, and then now Crystal. And at the same time, we're happy for Jared spending time with his family. But I really want everyone to know that we have to end the show. But before we end the show, the list was so stinking long. Susie Miller, I will have to get with you. I know we're going to talk tomorrow at some point.
I think I captured most of it. So,
because I was trying to keep that. I went like, you know what? I give up because I can't type. I was going to put them up on the screen, but I can't type that fast.
There's some really good nuggets. So I think I got them.
So thank you for being in the recovery zone and doing that. So everybody, I want let's get this out the way because I think you need to see how fast I can do this. Julie has a dog.
Somebody's ready to
Julie
go night. Your
dog is like,
it's like bedtime. It's time to go to bed.
Do your cats do that, Susie? I mean, not Susie, Tracy?
My cats are the biggest pain in the rear end when they want to eat. Like they're in the hallway right now. The three of them are just like, they're waiting. They're just like stalking me. Like, it's time to eat, Mom.
Oh,
okay. So here we go. Tracy Garrity, the same way Julie is being mauled by her dog with love. That's exactly what we feel about you and all that you've done to help other people with your shooting from the hip, straightforward message that you give about how did you put it on your website? Toxic, narcissist, evil. So any type of unrepentant evil that is permeating the earth, you're willing to go there and be a narcinator and talk about it and bring it out. But you also provide a solution. You don't just point out what's wrong, but you really talk about accountability, responsibility of everyone involved, and about moving forward. So we really appreciate you. And let's see. Right now, the show is coming to an end, but if everybody can, Warren, Susie with a Z, Julie, and Susie Miller, if you could tell me one thing that you learned about her today. Are you blushing yet? Tell me one thing that you learned about Tracy today that surprised you. Warren, you can go first.
Yeah, for me, it was just the whole band and everything she did with the band and all the great work that, it was amazing. It was pretty cool to see everything you've done. And really wish you did make it to American Idol or one of those, because that would have been cool.
Thank you.
I don't need this. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I was just going to say the story about how you live in your grandparents' old house and lived across the street from them, and your parents are still across the street. I can picture it in my head, and it sounds so cool. And
yeah,
I'm happy for you for that. That's really, really neat.
Thank you.
And it's special. Like, not many people have that situation, So
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually going to say something similar, because my grandparents were like my happy place. And the big joke of the family was I'd go over for the weekend and spend 52 days in the summer. They were my lifeline. And also your relationship with your brother and your sister-in-law.
Yeah,
I admire
cool.
that, because a lot of us, I don't know, I can't speak for anyone else, but people, in my family, we're not as close. Our family is pretty broken up. So I love to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're blessed.
Thank you.
Definitely blessed.
Julie.
And Tracy, I would just like to say thank you very much. This has been really interesting tonight. I love that you're my kind of person, just straight to the point, no filler, no fluff, just straight to the point. It's been so interesting. And I'm also going to look these up on Spotify, because I love a good rock cover band and things like that. So it's just been great. Thank you.
Thank you very much, you guys. I really appreciate it. I had no idea that this was even going to be what we were doing tonight. I almost forgot that we were doing something tonight. And then I said, oh my God, I ran around.
Okay.
But thank you so much, Paxton, for
when
fun.
We grow up, yeah, you're not supposed to talk. But anyhow, when we grow up, we will actually be on your calendar one day. We know that we're just a small, little hole in the wall channel with just a few of us. But when we grow up and have a YouTube channel that grows up like yours, then we know you'll be on your calendar. But what I was going to say, listen, I just wanted you to just take it. Just take the love. No disclaimers. We know you appreciate it, but we need you to feel more appreciated than the appreciation you could give us back. Okay? You got that? You got that? You got that? Okay. All right. Okay, everybody's happy. Okay, sorry. Listen, we're gonna go. I'm gonna stick around, of course, and if the chat keeps going, great. If not, then I'll see you guys another time. But Trace, have a good night.
Thank you
everybody,
so much.
Make sure you try to get on her show, because it's a great channel to be on, and keep spreading your message, Trace. Whether people cringe when they hear it or not, just do your, you know what I'm saying. So anyhow, wait, what's happening here? Oh, wait a minute. It's Tracy's show, but look who's getting some love at the end of the show. Look at that.
Julie.
That's for
The
Julie.
accent.
Julie, you.
Oh, thank you, Kevin.
She done reached across the pond and got a fan. Look at that. Okay. Hey, simmer down there, Kevin. Leave her alone. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
Kevin, I would just like to add that it'll not always be this polished. I'll eventually forget and start talking a bit more normal.
So awesome.
All right, everybody. I love each and every one of you. We got together and did this. Don't forget now, you didn't get everybody now. There's 2 people that are not here, part of the Motley crew, but we appreciate you being here. Trace, we'll see you, everybody. Love you guys. See you later.
Love you guys.
Good night, Julie.
Bye. Thank you,
everybody.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
Nice to meet you.
Love you, Susie. Susie Z.
Bye, guys.
Susie with a Z. Bye. Warren,
everybody.
stay out of trouble, and I'll talk to you soon.
Try.
Okay, stay out of trouble. Well, you did it. You ran the ship.
Made it.
You ran the ship. Look, always thinking about you. Stay strong. And if I know some people that know some people, so just
yeah,
just telling you, I know
Might
some
need
people
that.
know some people. Okay, I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
My daughters went through it too. So
get the baseball bat out.
hey, I didn't say it. Hey, we didn't say that on the airwaves. You said that. I did. No, just kidding. Stay safe, and I'll see you and talk to you
All
tomorrow.
right.
Bye. All right, everybody, you're still here. Why are you still here? No, I'm just kidding. We appreciate you guys being here, and we got a lot of shows coming your way. We've got a number of shows that are going to be done, of course, the rest of this year. But we've got over 80 people that are waiting for next year and all the way into 2025. We are loaded with stuff coming your way. So much coming your way. I'm not going to say. See you later.
너의 중요하다는 words. It's for you. It's all for you. 가만히 있으면 안 되는 걸까? 왜 그런 거야? I'm okay just the way I am. I'm okay with what I do. 지금이 들어도 상관없는데 이 끝이 없는 조언들 너만한 narcissistic 고맙지만 고맙지 않은데 You know I don't want to know I don't want no more I don't want to know Gotta get up now Gotta get up now I don't have to know Gotta get up now Get up, yeah Everybody says 나의 꿈을 찾아 Right here, right now Yeah 더위 찾으면 안 되는 걸까 왜 그런 거야 I'm okay just the way I am I'm okay with what I do 지금이 들어도 상관없는데 이 끝이 없는 조언들 너만한 narcissistic 고맙지만 고맙지 않은데 You know I don't want to know I don't want no more I don't want to know Gotta get up now Gotta get up now I don't have to know Gotta get up now Get up
Hey, Susie, what you doing?
Oh, I'm just responding to some text messages. Am I supposed to still be on here?
You are on right
Okay.
now as you speak.
What's that? Oh, are we still live
yeah.
or no?
We're still live.
Oh,
You
should I?
didn't know that. Look at you going,
Are
"Oh my
we?
goodness."
Oh, do I leave the studio? I forget. Are we supposed
No,
to?
you don't have to lead us to. Can you say good? Oh, there she goes. She's gone, everybody. I was going to say goodbye with her, but goodbye. Bye-bye. All right, you people go have a good weekend. Later. Are you back? Let's get.
I as I said, should I leave the studio? I just clicked leave studio. So
okay, this is the best ending of a show ever between you and I. This is like so cool.
Look, obviously I'm losing my mind.
No,
are we all catching up after this or no?
Are we catching? Well, right now I'm about to end the show, even though they're still writing to everybody. Okay. This is the best for all of you because you're going like, what are they doing over there? Okay, Kevin. Good night. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
I'm out of here,
Kevin.
everybody. I'm wearing plaid and I'm burning up. I love you people. Bye.